Happy Monday and good morning, everyone. This is Carol Williams with Williams Immigration, and we are back for another Monday morning edition of Beyond the Soundbite, where we talk about what's been going on with U.S. immigration this past week, giving you all the news that I think you will find helpful to go through with your week. So y'all know I like to start right away. The first thing I want to talk to you about is really we're going to talk a lot today about the employment authorization document. We know that there has been a significant backlog in them. We know that it's now currently taking almost a year, roughly 10 months, but really almost a year to process an employment authorization document for folks that are here in non-immigrant status and folks that are applying for their green cards. So we've had some fairly significant happenings occur over the last week. So I want to dive into those. The first one is that because of the 10-month delay, we have now seen a lawsuit filed against Department of Homeland Security and USCIS, the Immigration Service, basically to get that processing sped up. People are losing employment opportunities for no other reason than the fact that the Immigration Service is taking 10 months to now process EADs for individuals. EADs used to be processed in 90 days. That was written into the law. When that was deleted from the law, we saw the backlogs occur very, very quickly, and to where we are now, which is almost a year to get an employment authorization document issued. So I will keep you updated on what's happening with that litigation. On the heels of that litigation being filed, the second thing I wanted to talk to you about and let you know about is some good news involving EADs, or employment authorization documents. The Immigration Service had a policy that they would not allow individuals in H4 who were beneficiaries of H1b principles to take advantage of an automatic extension if their EAD card was filed before the current one expired. So again, we went to court on that. Immigration lawyers took that issue to court. Last week, we got a ruling that essentially said the Immigration Service needed to stop that. So now, if you are an H4 dependent here in the US and you apply timely for your EAD card, there will be an automatic extension of that employment authorization document. This means that people no longer have to come off payroll, stop working. Employers have, a better idea of how they can staff their projects. They're not worried about having to take people off payroll. They're not having to worry about the I-9 implications of taking people off payroll and then putting them back onto payroll once that EAD is granted. They're not worried about a 10-month lag in employment time for their employers, for their employees. Employees are not worried about the next check, the next paycheck, the project that they've started that they cannot finish. So that is wonderful news. The other very unexpected thing, I believe, that came out of this piece of litigation, this lawsuit, is that now individuals who are dependents in L2 status, meaning that their principals are in L1, L1A, or L1B, the dependents have work authorization, what we call incident to status. What does incident to status mean? That means when you are given L2 status, that you automatically have work authorization and that you don't have to apply for a separate EAD. So there is no 10-month wait for work authorization. It is simply you are in L2 status, you now automatically have work authorization. So that is going to give employers and employees alike much more flexibility in terms of hiring and applying for and accepting positions here in the United States. So that was some incredible news that came out last week. I know my colleagues and I are fairly excited about that, as are my clients that are here in H4 and L2. that have been having, lots of anxiety over work authorization. So that is fantastic. The next thing I wanted to talk to y'all about is a lockbox expansion. I generally do not talk about sort of the really fine technical details of immigration with y'all, but this one I think is important. So the Immigration Service is planning to open a new lockbox. And why is that? Why should you care about that? I know you were thinking to yourself, Carol, I don't even know what a lockbox is. Well, a lockbox is where the Immigration Service collects an application. So we file applications. Some of them go directly to what we call a lockbox. The lockbox is their primary responsibility is to take the check and process the check and then package up the applications and send them out to the service center or the local office, the local immigration office that's going to be processing the application. You should care about a new lockbox because one, some locations of where your applications are filed will change. And two, more importantly, I think, an additional lockbox should help alleviate the backlog. Um, a new lockbox will help applications actually on the front end get processed quicker before they get to an adjudicator's desk. So, an additional lockbox will hopefully get applications processed much faster on the front end. There will be more individuals to take those checks, get them processed on the front end, and get them to an officer's desk quicker. So that is why you should care about the fact that the Immigration Service next year in 2022 is looking to open up a new lockbox. And those plans have been released and they are moving forward. So I think, along with the efforts that the Immigration Service has made to try to get through their backlog, as well as be a little bit more digital in nature, I think a new lockbox, from my perspective, is a welcome change and a welcome move forward to getting rid of some of the backlog that we are all experiencing. The next thing I wanted to talk to y'all about is the H2a and H2b. These are temporary visas, and they are really used for seasonal workers. So, folks that come in and work around a very specific season. So, your H2As are coming in all to work in the agricultural industry, and H2Bs are coming to work in everything that is not agricultural. So, when we think about a season in the agricultural sense, we are generally thinking around certain crops that need to be harvested or planted during a certain season that are not done all year round. So that's kind of a really quick background on the seasonal workers. But one very important thing about H2As and H2Bs is that not all countries qualify to have individuals come to the US as H2As and H2Bs. Just because one country is qualified for H2A does not mean that they meet the criteria and have been approved for H2B. So we've had a little bit of movement in who is able to come in for H2As and H2Bs. So we are adding Bosnia and Herzegovina, the Republic of Cyprus, the Dominican Republic, Haiti, Mauritius, and St. Lucia to the list of countries that can now participate in H2A and H2B. And it is worth noting that the Dominican Republic currently is only eligible for H2A. So for the Dominican Republic, it is actually an expansion into H2B. And one country this round that has been dropped from H2A and is will no longer be designated is Moldova. But it is important to note that their eligibility remains effective for H2As until January 18th of next year. So after that, Moldova will drop off of the H2A eligibility list. So if that is something that you are trying to figure out, H2A, H2B, seasonal workers, how does all that work? Feel free to give my office a call, 954-903-1337, and we can certainly help you out with that. or we can also help you out with any sort of EAD questions you have, or, employment, immigration, family immigration in general. Feel free to reach out to us. I wanted to remind everyone that since March of last year, so since March of 2020, the Immigration Service has definitely recognized that we are in the middle of the pandemic. They have made some policy changes that have made working with them somewhat easier. One of them is when we are responding to requests for additional evidence, we're responding to notice of intent to deny, if we are appealing or asking for a motion to reopen and reconsider of the agency. They have given us an automatic extension past the date stamped on those notices. So that is still in play. And that is current until January 15th of 2022. At that point, the agency will give us more guidance as to whether or not they're going to continue this automatic extension and flexibility, or whether they will go back to normal. So we don't know yet, but I just wanted to remind you that that is still in play. And another big reminder, and this is fairly new, it started on November 8th. The regional travel bans are now over. The Immigration Service, via direction from the White House, is looking at individuals rather than entire regions and countries for those people that are entering the US. So if you are not a US citizen and you are not a current green card holder, you must show that you are fully vaccinated in order against COVID-19 in order to board a plane and come into the US. Airlines have been tasked with the responsibility of checking the the vaccination documentation. So please do not forget to have that with you, have that in your passport so it is handy when you get to the airport. So I wanted to remind people of that. I certainly would hate to have people, realizing that they forgot that information, and having to scramble at the last minute while they are in the airport. So today and last week, it's been really good news when it comes to EADs and our non-immigrants getting work authorization. And hopefully this next lawsuit will help clear the log jam that we are currently experiencing, with 10-month adjudication times of EADs. So that is all I really wanted to talk about with everyone this morning. Again, I am Carol Williams with Williams Immigration. This is Beyond the Soundbite, where every Monday morning I go live and have a conversation with you about what's going on in immigration. If you have any questions, if you have questions about an individual case that you're working with, if you're looking to hire someone that's not a US citizen and you need help navigating those waters, feel free to call my office. We are more than happy to help you. 954-903-1337. Have a wonderful rest of your Monday and a great week. And I will be back live with you here next Monday. If you have comments, please pop those into the comment section, or feel free to send me a DM, and I do go back and look at them and respond. Have a wonderful Monday and a great rest of your week. Bye, everyone.